What's up guys, it's XRAYZ and welcome to part 9 of the Call of Duty Zombie storyline. In the last episode we covered all of the side characters, all the characters that were in there, theories about what was going on with them, and just some detailed breakdowns on that, as well as how the crew got to the actual map buried. Before I jump into the Maxis and Richtofen part of the Easter egg that I know a lot of you guys want to know about, and you guys kept mentioning it in part 8, but before we jump into the Richtofen part and the Maxis side of the story, I want to quickly mention, if you guys have not seen parts 1 through 8, I would highly recommend that you guys check those out. This is a long and really confusing story. Believe me, every time I post an episode, there's always someone who leaves a comment that says, I really wish I could understand the story, but there's so much going on. So I would always recommend that before you watch this episode, you go back, watch episodes 1 through 8. They're really interesting, really entertaining. You guys are going to be glued to them. Believe me, I'm going to say it right now, if you guys start watching it 1 through 8, you're gonna get really stuck with them. So go watch episodes 1 through 8, come back and then watch this one so you really know how they got here, the old crew, this new crew that came around, you know, every single little tidbit of information you guys could ever want is going to be back on those episodes, and then we can jump into this one, just because it's a really long, confusing story and you guys might be like, wait, what? How did they go from moon to here, or, you know, etc., vice versa. So I would highly recommend that you guys do that. I want to really quickly mention, a lot of people are confused as to where the location of Buried is. It actually does take place in Africa. If you guys don't believe me, the name itself, Resolution 1295, and then it says Buried. Resolution 1295 was a resolution that was signed in Angola. It's in Africa, and it is where Buried takes place. It takes place on either the edge of Angola or on the, you know, somewhere near it. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm just going to say I'm pronouncing it right. I don't really care. It's just a location. But it does take place in Africa. As for why the actual town is underground, why a lot of people seem to think that it's in California, remember that when Maxis shot the rockets to the Earth, it kind of destroyed the Earth. It broke around plates, so, you know, the continental shifting was moving around. Think about it as when Pangea was first forming, all the plates were everywhere and then they come together and move around. So what ended up happening is this little town ended up shifting under Africa, which is why you're seeing it underground. So now that I got that little tidbit out of the way, a lot of you guys were asking, why is it in Africa if it looks like it's in California, or, you know, there's all these different theories about the ghost and all this kind of stuff. No, Buried actually takes place in Africa. It's a little town that was shifted underground because of the shifting of the plate, which is another kind of really cool theory you guys are going to see in the next episode of Zombie Theories. So we're going to continue on now into the story. Here's one of the cool things about Buried. A lot of people weren't expecting there to be a lot of story involvement. They thought that it would be in DLC 4, seeing as how it's going to be the final DLC. But we actually get an idea of what happens. In this DLC, we get so much information, it's crazy. So Marlton, Misty, Russman, and Sam continue and they give power to the actual tower. Now the thing that we learn as well through these different procedures is that Maxis and Richtofen are both trying to gain power from the zombies. As we all know, Maxis mentions that the zombies have a energy that is needed in order to power orbs. These orbs that you see throughout the map, they turn into this kind of weird wisp, and the wisp is used to power the actual machine that sends the power up to the tower that's at the surface. Once the power actually reaches the surface, we hear a really awesome kind of dialect between Maxis and Richtofen. Now, depending on which side of the Easter egg you completed, we're going to have two different branching paths. This is the first time actually that we're actually seeing the actual branching of either following Maxis or following Richtofen. I'm going to play the audio clips for you guys to hear what exactly happens in the Maxis side, and then we'll go over to the Richtofen side. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys to hear what happens when the power goes completely and Maxis is able to gain control of the zombies, or gain complete control. So I'm going to play the clip now for you guys to hear.
The process has begun. Now I control the ether's energy! I can at last reach Agatha! Ah, you fools! Why did you listen to him? Regretfully, I must inform you that neither the Earth nor its people will survive. Ah, I tried so hard to warn you. Don't cough! Once the gateway is open, I will finally be reunited with my dearest Samantha.
Hello? Are you forgetting something? Even if your wretched daughter is still alive,
She has my body! If you are so eager to re-enter the physical world, Richtofen, I will grant you that fish!
So from this audio clip, we actually get a lot of information. We learn what happens. Maxis gets complete control, and there's also a few little things in there that I'm going to mention in the next episode of the zombie theories, especially the part where Dr. Maxis says, you know, finally he can reach Agartha, which is something I'm going to talk about in the next episode of Zombie Theories. But the thing that we learn from here is that Maxis gets complete control. Now, whenever you start playing and you complete the Easter egg, you're going to notice that the zombies' eyes start turning orange. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it turns yellow because, you know, Samantha is the one who was in control before, you know, they're related by blood, so obviously the eyes are going to be the color yellow. No, the eyes are actually the color orange. That's the color that the zombies get. So what we get from here is that Maxis kind of screws us over, and, you know, he says, you know, I regretfully inform you that, you know, all the Earth and its people will not survive. Basically saying that the Earth is going to get blown up, or that, you know, maybe, you know, some kind of huge catastrophic event to the level of the rockets hitting the Earth is also going to happen. So basically what happens, you complete this side of the Easter egg and Maxis gains complete control. He also has a dialogue with Richtofen, and he tells him, you know, if you want to go back to the Earth so badly, then I'll send you there. And what ends up happening is, as you're playing through the gameplay, you're going to notice that, you know, all the zombies have orange eyes, and then there's going to be one zombie that has blue eyes, and when you get near the zombie, you can hear him saying quotes, you know, saying, you know, damn, you know, Maxis, you know, I hate Maxis, why can't I ever win? So it turns out that Maxis is going to be a regular, you know, just kind of weird zombie, and he's complaining about the smell he has and everything. So it looks like if you do complete the Maxis side of the Easter egg, it's really, you know, choosing between the two of them, which is the lesser of two evils, or in this case, you get to pick your poison. The whole point of Maxis trying to gain control was trying to save his daughter, and while it does seem like a noble cause, and it's something, you know, it's like, oh, you know, he's trying to save his daughter, it also kind of screws over the Earth and all of the inhabitants and everyone, you know, from him trying to save one person, which is kind of messed up. But, you know, I guess if any of us had a daughter or anything like that, we would do whatever it takes to try to save her. So anyways, that was the Maxis side of the Easter egg. We're going to jump into the Richtofen side. If you guys complete the Easter egg and power the orbs and make sure that Richtofen gets the power, then we get a completely different dialogue, and something really pretty cool happens after the whole dialogue event. So I'm going to let that play now, and I'll be back to tell you guys a little bit my 2 cents on what is going on.
Finally, I am in control! The ether is mine to manipulate as I wish! The crown is now my own personal plaything! What have you done? I've won, Maxis! That's what I've done! Oh, what about Samantha? Your actions condemn my daughter's very soul to eternal damnation! Even if you do not care for her, surely you wish to return to your own body! Not really, no. But I already possess the power to leave this netherworld and re-enter the physical realm once more. I can choose any body I wish! As for you, Maxis, you will simply cease to be. I'll be the man. Toodles. No! Take a deep breath, Samuel. We're about to get a whole lot closer. At last I am corporeal? No, physical. Whatever. I have my very own body.
Alright guys, so after you can tell, after the dialogue that Richtofen has with Maxis, it's pretty much the same thing. Before this, if you guys remember, you know, the storyline part where I talk about Moon, the reason that Richtofen didn't have complete control at the moment was because Maxis had shot rockets to the Earth, which made his connection to zombies and being able to have full control more unstable. So after you're able to connect these 3 towers and help out Richtofen, he actually ends up getting complete control and has the power to kind of leave this ether world that he's at and, you know, enter the physical world, get his own body, whichever one that he wants, and he ends up destroying Dr. Maxis. So you hear him, he's like, you will just cease to exist, and then you hear, you know, Dr. Maxis have this kind of scream or whatever, and he talks about how he condemned his daughter, and his daughter is dead now too. And what the really super interesting part after this, he actually ends up going into Stuhlinger's body. You know, again, another one of those theories, and it was kind of confirmed in this map that Stuhlinger, or Samuel, was eating zombies and was kind of turning into a zombie, which was what made Dr. Richtofen have an easier transition into going into his body. So, he ends up going into Samuel's body, and he kind of starts trying to control it, and he's having some trouble, and he realizes that Samuel is still in there. And he kind of just, says, you know what, I'm going to let you guys kind of take care of this for a while. I'll just kind of, take the back seat here and not do anything. But it's kind of interesting. Does this mean that we're finally going to have the old crew coming back? We can only find out in the, next DLC by the Zombies team. And, another really interesting thing is that when you're playing and this whole event happens, if you look at Stuhlinger's, his eyes start turning blue. They have that blue glow to them that the zombies have because, again, Richtofen is inhabiting the body now. So this was a really cool addition to the actual zombie storyline. We see finally a transition as to what happens. You either follow Maxis and he gets complete control, he's trying to save his daughter, but at the same time he screws over the Earth, or you can go with Richtofen, who apparently won't destroy the Earth because he actually inhabits the body now, but, he's kind of like this weird, crazy, old kind of person who's trying to get complete control and do whatever weird thing he's trying to do. So I guess we're going to find out in the next DLC. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Zombie Storyline. If you guys did, remember to slap a like on this video and a favorite. Try to get it out there for other people to check out. And yeah, tell me what you guys think of the story so far. Tell me what your favorite characters or maps or wonder weapon is. Anything that you enjoy from zombies. And I'll see you guys next time. Part 10 hopefully will be out once the next DLC is out, which will probably be a while. Who knows? But until then, we'll see zombie theories and my behind the horror. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Until next time, this is the sad thing, I can only do so many episodes before we gotta wait for our next DLC. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If we can get this thing to like 1,000 likes like the last one, that would be amazing. Again, I don't really expect it to happen. I had a ton of help with that last one, but if it does happen, that would be insane. Thank you guys again for all of the insane support. I will see you guys next time. I'm XRAYZ. I'm out. Peace.